Hello, everyone. Today we have with us Mr. Arshdeep Singla as our guest speaker for the podcast series. Welcome to the podcast, sir. Please allow me to introduce you. Arshdeep Singla is currently working as a trading analytics associate at JP Morgan. He is also the alumni of ISI, IIT Kharagpur, and IM Calcutta. So, welcome to the podcast, sir. It's a pleasure having you.
Thanks for Siddharth. It's a pleasure for me as well.
Right, sir. To start with, could you give a small background about yourself and tell me about yourself?
Sure. So I did my graduation from Punjab Engineering College. Graduated from there in 2016. Post that, I joined SmartCube India, wherein I worked in the analytics domain. Then I did a course called PGDBA. So it was a unique course with three institutes partaking: ISI, Kolkata, IIT Kharagpur, and IIM Calcutta. So the course is a very unique setting in which we travel to all the three institutes, study there for one semester, and then go out for internships and corporate experience. So after that course, it is a course I did specialization in, again, business analytics. And then after that, I went to PwC. I worked there for about an year and a half, and for the US advisory in the consulting domain. Then I worked as a quantitative analyst in one of the trading firms, and currently I'm working at JP Morgan as a trading associate.
Right, sir. So, could you elaborate about your current role in trading? So, what is it all about, and what is the state of trading, institutional trading in India right now?
So currently I'm working for JP Morgan Asset Management. So that is the buy side of the bank. And I'm a part of the trading team over there. So it is known as equities analytics and strategy team. So my daily task is basically to look at the various trades which in the buy side, because not in the share markets, but in the buy side, the trades are very large, very huge. So they are like the high net worth individuals which put in the trades. So those can be, maybe lakhs and lakhs of shares in just one go. So due to this, there is a huge market impact, due to which there are a lot of transaction costs. So my task is basically to look into the trades and log them in like an efficient manner, so that the trading costs could be cut down, and that would help the firm generate various revenues. As far as the trading is concerned, the institution trading, which you're referring to, the those things are, the markets are very well matured in, I would say, London and US, but in India it is slowly and gradually picking up because of the various kind of techniques which are being used, because India is kind of an emerging market, and the kind of profits or returns which the banks could make in the emerging markets is humongous. They have analyzed their potential, and that is why it is slowly and gradually picking up in India as well.
So, sir, where do you see the industry heading to? Like we have for a few years we have algo trading in place, and we are seeing that most of these banks are centralized. So we are moving to a decentralized system. So how do you see the future of this trading?
So trading has, there are like many years from which trading is going on. Algo trading is a kind of a new concept, I would say. It's still in the nascent stage, because there are like various kind of algorithms which are being made to refine and make efficient use of resources. Because nowadays data is, getting huge day by day, and that is why it is very much important and essential for anyone to analyze the data. And in the trading, the data is humongous, because you have, for just 1 second, 1 millisecond, you have various indicators showing what to the stock price in the next moment. So you have to analyze those. And algo trading, I would just say, like, it's just the tip of the iceberg, which is, would have a lot of job opportunities in future, as well as, kind of new opportunities for the youngsters coming up.
Right. So do you see enough demand in the sector for new traders to come up? Like I haven't seen any freshers joining these top banks. So they have a benchmark that we need to do MBA from a top B school. So is it required necessary, or there are any other routes through which students can join?
So yes, you are right on some levels that the top banks do not recruit from all the BTech colleges or the undergrad colleges. So firstly, in India, it is like more about the branding. If you have, for example, if you're in the top IITs or the top grad schools, so therein, yes, the companies do come for recruitment and the people do get placed. But trading is a very kind of disciplined domain in which even the banks could not give the chance so easily. So firstly, even when a person joins from a master's, because masters inculcate a kind of discipline in you, and the banks like that. So firstly, even if a person joins from a B school, it is not like they will be assigned to a particular trading desk and they'll start trading. There would be a rigorous, I would say, practical experience which they would require. They will shadow. Firstly, they will be a desk analyst. Then they will, working as a quant analyst, and then they will finally become a trader. Because once you have proved yourself that you are good at analyzing markets, only then they will be shifted towards the final trading in the markets. So even if you have joined from a B school, there will be a long journey which you have to take up, and then only you can become a successful trader in these banks. But to your point, yes, master is kind of a requirement in India, I would say, that to join these good banks at very good positions. But even if you have proved yourself, in through various ways, like various contests, and various kind of, for example, for GS there is a kind of a competition which is held every year. So if a person is in amongst the finalists, so they do get an interview invites from GS, and there's good chances that a person could get selected. So you have to look out for opportunities if you don't want to invest in MBA. So this is it.
Right, sir. So now let's move to data analysis a bit. So you have spent many of your life doing data analysis. So what is the main software that are used in these big companies, and is it Python, R, and what are the other like main software that are used in these like
So majority of banks and the languages which are being used in the industry are typically, I would say, Python, R. Excel is very much necessary. Little bit of data visualization is also good, like Tableau, if one knows Tableau or Power BI. But apart from these, that as the data is growing humongously, it would be good if a person has knowledge about big data as well, like Spark, Hadoop. So those kind of softwares are also, in much use in various industries.
and how can we like develop those skills in these softwares? Like we can study online on our own, or we should like join a institute like ISI or something?
No, it's not required that you join an institute. Like nowadays, a lot of opportunities and venues are there, and various platforms are developed on which you can learn and refine your data analytics skills as well as programming skills. For data analytics, you could look into Data Camp, Udacity, Udemy. So these are courses which are very well designed by the professionals only. And there are various modules like the starter module, beginner module, and then advanced modules as well. As well as for the data analytics, if someone is interested in data analytics or advanced analytics skills, for example, deep learning or neural networks. So there are different modules designed for all those, which would be helpful to refine your skills. So the best part of data analytics is that you don't need an institute which would teach you there. There are various platforms, for example, Kaggle, where you could join various competitions and look into it, the various kind of code which people write, what are the best practices which they follow, and then you could try to inculcate good things from those into your coding skills as well.
Right, sir. So do we need to like show them some previous projects that we are doing? So how do you gain the practical knowledge in the sector? Like we know how to use the software, but to like go to the practical level. So do we need to show some
So
projects earlier that we have done?
So nowadays, various competitions are coming. Various B schools as well as undergrad schools host various competitions. So you can participate in those competitions, learn from the actual problems which are posed by the industries. So nowadays, even various companies host their competitions online, and you can take participate in them to see at what level you are and gauge whether you need to learn more or not. And once you have a good standing in those competitions and you have refined your skills, you can easily put them on your CV, and in the market that will be very well appreciated.
Right, sir. So if someone from my college wants to enter the buy side of this industry, so should we like go for, there are many certifications right now like CAIA, CFA, FRM, or should we like go to the placement route and then like go level on level, or should we like go to a top B school or go for CAT right now? So what should be a strategy right now if we need to like break into this?
So it again depends upon what is your comfort with it. So there are various certifications like FRM, CFA, CAIA, which you mentioned. So having those certification shows your dedication, that you are dedicated towards achieving something in that particular field. So obviously having these certifications will obviously give you an edge, but I would want to say that they are not make or break kind of decision. If a person can can gain opportunities in other ways as well. For example, if those companies come to your placement campus, right? So prepare very well for those placements and try to get a seat over there. If not, then you plan whether you want to do an MBA or not. Just not get lost in the rat race that everyone is doing an MBA, so I also should go to a B school, and then only the chances for that would come up. You should have a belief in yourself, work really hard towards it, try to pursue these certifications if the companies don't come to your campus. And once you have developed your skill set well enough, and you circulate or you get referrals from the various kind of friends, you should surely get a chance in those companies as well.
Right, sir. But most of the companies that come in our college come for the consulting role or the finance role, that is like not the core finance, like the institutional trading role. So how do we like break into these? So is like MBA only stance then? Yeah.
So to be very true, like in India, I would say there are like not much of core finance roles. Even if you look at the investment banking profiles of the people who get selected as an investment bankers from India, they are not doing as much as front end kind of a role, which is expected, or is expected by the people that they are doing those kind of front end kind of roles. So those roles are very limited in India. Even the core finance profiles, which are selected from top IIMs as well, are like tag to the front office, but they are not doing the front end kind of the client interaction kind of a role. So, and same is with the case with institutional trading, I would say you would be trading stuff, you would be trading into various markets, but I don't think so that it is a very kind of reasonable expectation that you should be fixated on just one role and be working towards it, because that ways you would be limiting your chances only. So you should have a broader scope, broader view scope, so that you could look into the various opportunities which come during your way and try to step on those to reach your goal. Because sometimes it happens that I entered in a data analytics role just by fluke, because I was more interested in consulting, and this firm came to my campus for an analytics role. So this is where I got selected, and once I entered in the data analytics field, I loved it so much that I wanted to do a master's in that. And the trajectory of my profile or my career progression changed altogether. So I would advise not to be fixated on just one kind of role. Be open to the various opportunities which come into your way, and then weigh whether you want to pursue that or not.
Right. So let's talk about your firm a little bit. So how the whole process goes behind bringing the client in like these top banks, and what other roles are people playing in these firms? Like you are playing a trading analyst. So what other roles are there in the firm?
So firstly, onboarding a client is this is something which the sales people take care of. They have, now every firm has what are their, the best selling points. So they kind of create a presentations about what they have achieved so far and what value they can add to the client's business. So they kind of make those presentations, pitch them to the clients. Now from the client's end as well, there are the various companies approaching them for we can provide you the same services. So then the client, based on the presentations as well as the skill set of the firms, as well as their branding, choose which company they want to work with. So I'm as far as my profile is concerned, I'm working in the JP Morgan Asset Management as a trading analyst. There are various different profiles which cater to the data analytics role, research role, implementation of role, and even the specialist in the various sectors or in the various fields. For example, someone look into some certain kind of markets, someone look into certain kind of products, and they have their own specialty in various different markets, or the experience. For someone is good at econometrics, so they look into economics of the countries or the various regions. So based on the profiles and skill set, there are different kind of roles and opportunities available at these banks, uh, which cater to your the client problems and their businesses.
Right, sir. So I was just curious, like many of these banks have their own AMC, right? So how are they different from some individual AMCs? Like, these banks get some benefit regarding the clients they already have, which they cater to? So how
So
are these two
for
different?
a so every bank has like I would say they're kind of Chinese walls which divide various sections of the bank. For example, the investment banking arm of the bank would work very separately from the research arm, which will work very separately from the asset management arm. So although they would have, there is a possibility that they could have, the client details and they would share it with them, but the chances are very less, because they do not want the influence of any kind, any branch, or any arm of the bank on some other arm. That is why, even though, so it's kind of a good thing that this ways there is a kind of a competitive environment in which every part of the bank wants to prove their forte, and that is why they try to recruit good people and the lead people which will solve the various business problems for the client. So yes, there are various AMCs for a different bank, but that is what I would say. Firstly, their expertise which they have, and second, the branding which they have. They encash on that and get good projects or the various good clients based on their expertise or the past work which they have done for various clients.
Right, sir. So now let's move to a bit personal questions. So how a day in your life goes? Like at what time I must, it must start like really early because the trading timings are like that. So yeah.
So it is not as such, because for different regions there are like different analysts or associates which are assigned. For example, I work for the London market or the EMEA markets,
Hmm.
and I usually try to tag myself or have overlap with the EMEA trading times. So someone who is catering to US markets, they try to work overnight and have a overlap with the US markets. And someone who is working for the Japan region, they usually have to get up very early in the morning so that they could have an overlap with the Japan market. So usually it goes like that. For the tradings, you analyze various trades. So firstly, in the buy side, you don't have that much trades. The trades are less in volume but more in the size. So that is how the trading works in the buy side of the bank. So we have very large trades, and we learn from the past trades which were done by the clients or the various traders to suggest them what is the best time to execute a trade, in what proportions the trade should be broken up and then put in the markets, and what would be the incremental benefit that the traders as well as the firm will get if they put the trades in the certain ways. So this is just a kind of a suggestion which we provide to the portfolio managers and traders. They might or might not listen to us, but that is something which their KPI is, that they are evaluated on based on the inputs we give. And how we are evaluated is basically how efficient our suggestions were, whether the trader relied on it or no, and whether they were actually, the markets moved in certain fashion, and what was the trading cost which we saved for the bank.
Right, sir. Is it true that most of these trading roles related to these banks are based out of Mumbai only?
So every bank has a different division, I would say. So for JP Morgan, the core finance profiles, if you would say, or something related to trading, yes, Mumbai is the major chunk where the people sit out of. But it is not entirely this way. There are asset and wealth management divisions in Bangalore office as well, and so there also people work. And it is not like hard and fast rule that all the finance profiles will be present in Mumbai. So there are finance profiles, good finance profiles as well, I would say, which are sought after, which work from, and people work from Bangalore as well.
Right, sir. So I now want to talk about your career path. Like you first were in data analytics, then you chose consulting, and then you moved back to core finance. So what was your like mindset behind that changing of careers? And it was like it wasn't like too easy to like change the whole path. Yeah. So what was the
So to be
journey
really
behind that?
true, when I was in my undergrad, I was also confused like many people, what path should I follow? So that point of time, consulting was something which everyone wanted to get into. Okay, consulting is really good, but I also was excited towards it. Okay, I want to do consulting because this is something which everyone wants to do. Everyone is preparing for CAT as well, and similar was my mindset. Okay, I should also prepare for CAT. I don't want to be left out of something. So, but when I joined data analytics firm just out of college, I loved that path, and I was sure that I just don't want to do a normal MBA. I would want to do something in analytics field, and I was lucky enough to get selected in PGDBA. And that started off, the profile of analytics uh, towards, into the various colleges we went. Therein, I was chosen with PwC, wherein I was working for US advisory. It was US advisory, so it meant it is a mixture of both consulting and data analytics, which I really liked. Therein, I was working in the financial services sector, and I got interested into, looking at the financial data of the client. And then I worked towards made a shift to the trading domain, which, excited me a lot. So that's what I was referring, that you don't be just fixated on just one path for yourself. Try to explore as many, opportunities your way, and then weigh whether which opportunity excites you more and which career path you want. Because when we are an undergrad, we don't have much exposure about the markets or the job profiles, and it's not a good or wise decision to narrow your scope at that point itself.
Right, sir. And also tell me about the work-life balance. Like I always see you joining some other meetings all the time. So what is the work-life balance right now, and what was it in during the time of consulting? So how it changed overall?
So see, if you are working for a very reputed firm, so yes, they would obviously be a bit hectic. For example, when I was working with PwC also, I was working for the US region. At that point of time, we had various overlaps with the US working hours. So my calls at that point of time used to end by 11 or 12. And post that, I had my dinner with peace. And even here, so it depends upon the projects and, the markets, I would say. So if your project is a bit light, that is a kind of research project, that then you can, have a kind of a relaxed environment in which you could do kind of research at your own pace. But if it is kind of client deadline kind of project, which requires various kind of implementations from the clients or the firm side, so then, the working hours could really shoot up, like maybe easily 12 hours a day or 30, 14 hours a day. So that is kind of a possibility. Yes.
Right, sir. So let's now move to you have worked a bit lot in quant research as a part of quant research. So could you tell me about that? Like what kind of work you actually do and what kind of tools you use to actually do quant research? And so basically, I've seen many of the founders in this investment management space who earlier were a part of quant research at some firm, and then they gained a lot of practical experience. So tell me about that.
So quant research as a field is a domain in which you find out various patterns which work in the market. Like if you see the various kind of, uh, I would say it's again based on some kind of data analysis, that you look into the data of the financials of the firms over time, and then you decide, okay, so this is how the markets in general behave. This is how the profits could be made. So there is no right or wrong technique to analyze stock market, and there is no 100% foolproof way in which the profits could be made. So quant research is basically analyzing the various data which we have, building a various algorithms which could be profitable in the stock market, if you would say that. And in the quant research, you again, do kind of exploratory data analysis. You tend to find out various patterns, various indicators or signals. Those are kind of, some of the indicators are already made. You try to indulge into data analytics more, trying to find out more patterns, more signals, more indicators, which would be helpful for generating profit for the firm. So this is how the quant research profile works.
Right, sir. So I want to move back a little bit. So when we talk about a lot of certifications like all these CFA, FRM, so I want to compare like, are they actually build skills under us? So what is the like, how do I say, what is the like ratio between certification versus skills? So could you compare that? Like, do we actually gain practical experience and gain skills from these different certifications? And how do
So I
these
would
skills
say these certifications are a good starting point, I would say, to at least understand how the financial markets work. So till the time you don't have a basic knowledge, or I would say the theoretical knowledge of what goes behind the kind of algorithms which are being made, you would not be successful, making those algorithms from scratch, or adding value to the algorithms in future. So it is very much important to learn the nuances of the financial markets or the financial industry. For that, the certifications are a good starting point. But yes, because of just there's a theoretical nature of FRM, CFA, these kind of certifications, they do not impart any kind of practical knowledge. This knowledge you just gain when you enter the industry or the particular domains or divisions of the banks or any another financial firms. Then and there, you gain those practical experiences. But till the time you have a theoretical knowledge, about how those concepts actually are designed, how were they formulated, there's no way you could succeed in how you would practically imply those.
Right, sir. So I am doing a undergrad in finance. So most of these, like I compared the syllabus of mine into FRM and CFA. So many of the basics we are already being taught in college only. So should we like then also we should pursue these certification if we have the basic knowledge, like you said.
No, the certification is just a way to show the firm that you are dedicated, but it is not necessary that you should have the certification to get into these firms. That's what I'm saying. If you have the desired knowledge, there are ample opportunities which are present in the market. Maybe those stepping stone, use some firms as a stepping stone, or use various competitions by those firms to prove your caliber. And once you have the desired knowledge, the companies will interview you and select you. So you should follow, run behind having gaining the knowledge, and not just the branding of these certifications.
Right, sir. So just the advice I want to take from you. So right now I am a second year undergrad and we are like really confused if we need to go into consulting or core finance or we need to do MBA. So you have also changed a lot of career paths. So how you develop that mindset and how to like clear that thought that where we need to go? Can we figure out right now or we need to like do make mistakes and then only we will be able to figure out?
So that goes without saying that you'll make a lot of mistakes before choosing what your current path or final path should be. What I would say is you try to gain practical experience through various kind of internships. Like even in undergrad, when you're doing, there's like a lot of spare time which a person has. You could try different kind of internships at that point of time to figure out, okay, this is like out of these 10 things, these three things excite me a lot, and I would want to pursue my career path in one of these three. So this is a way in which because just by sitting and not exploring those things, it will not come occur to you that, okay, this is a better field for me. Because for someone who is good at maybe coding, he would feel saturated after a point of time and want to move into consulting. But till the time he had gone through that consulting phase, so he would not be able to make a decision. So it's very, very wise to do a lot of internships, right, during your undergrad, so that you have an idea about the various domains in which you could utilize your skill set, and to have a clarity where you want to see yourself in future.
So let's say if we are clear that we want to go into public equity, but the right now the placement that are coming are mostly related to private equity. So should we like go into private equity or should we like wait or do some other certifications or yeah,
So
or
I
should
would
we like
say that at least should not miss any out of any of the campus placements, right? So whatever you get in the campus placement, go there, try working over there. If it does not work out for you, then you can anytime leave the firm. But do not keep yourself away from any kind of practical exposure, because even if working in maybe the private equity, you would come to know about various openings or various kind of career paths or exit paths from that particular stream or branch as well. So that kind of having a broader view of what goes into the markets is very much necessary. So that is why firstly try to get whatever placements you want to get, but if not, then you can obviously try off campus. And if something does not work out for you, I would say join the firm, build up your skill set over there, and then apply to in that firm, or you can start applying outside also.
so if we like join private equity, so I'm like a bit of afraid like will it not backfire us like if we need to go into private public equity? So will joining a private equity firm not backfire us like we are doing completely different roles? So it will not
No,
help
so
us.
if you have a valid justification of, you can always say to the interviewers or the companies that this is something which I thought would work out for me, and I feel my skill set is more suitable for this particular role, or for that matter, I am more interested towards pursuing this now, because everyone has their priorities, and everyone change their career paths. And so if you have a valid justification, and you know what you want to do, and that is beneficial to the firm. So I don't think so any firm will object and would not select you because you started off your career with something else.
Right, sir. So just to end with, any advice that you want to give to a 19, 20-year-old, and combining with any recommendations, book recommendations, or any podcast or anything that you want to recommend?
So I would suggest that at this stage you should explore various things. For example, if there are like various career paths which excite you, you should try to be a part of maybe various clubs or societies in the colleges, which give you a flavor of what happens into the markets or what happens into the corporate culture. Engage more with your seniors or the alumni which are actually working in the various domains. Learn from their experiences. Have a healthy conversation with them, like what should be the career path, what they were thinking while their placements were there, which company do they think or would want to transition, what are the reasons for that, what are the upcoming trends in the industry which they should follow, what things are beneficial, because they are alumni, so they'll be able to guide you better. What are the things which are working well for them in the firms, and what are they working on right now? Because if something which they are working on, probably you will also have to work on that thing to be successful in those firms. So you should develop your skill sets accordingly. So that would be my advice, that explore as much as you could in these initial stages so that you could minimize making lesser number of mistakes. So, but again, making mistakes and learning from those is again, an altogether different journey, which everyone experiences, I would say.
Right, sir. Thank you. And any recommendation that you want to give of
Recommendation
anything?
regarding
Any
any
books or
books
any
here? So someone who is interested in the markets, you should be, you should various news channels or business channels. Economic Times is a good platform to if you want to ramp up your knowledge about the business. So those kind of platforms you should visit if you are more interested into it.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. That was all from my side. It was really insightful.
Thanks,
Thank you so much.
thanks, Rosabak. Yeah.